What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. BTC USD. It is the 13th day of December. Here we are sitting at about $90,100 with 9 hours and 9 minutes left of the day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. Before we get started, I want to say there's some bad news because the bull market is over. James Bull even said it himself, and he said based on the S&P 500 going to new all-time highs, gold at new all-time highs, silver at new all-time highs, he didn't include that, but the M2 will keep increasing. It's on a path to increase, yes. New Fed chairman with more rate cuts coming next year. MicroStrategy has zero selling risk until 2027. DATs keep adding more and more. I don't even know what's DATs, decentralized autonomous. I don't know. I don't know what is a DAT. What is a DAT? What is DAT? You guys know what a DAT is? Rest in peace to Peter Green, everybody's favorite bad guy. Is a generic computer file that store up. Okay, well, whatever. Things that store generic information, adding more Bitcoin to their balance sheet. I don't know. Maybe that's something else. Maybe it's not that. Something related with stocks or companies, publicly owned companies. Maybe Tether is the most over collateralized bank with 110% in collateralization. Exactly. And the thing is, it's not the most over collateralized bank because it has 110%. We should compare that to what the average bank is. The average bank is not over collateralized. They're way. You know what fractional reserve banking is, right? Yeah. They probably got less than 10% of their collateral. The average bank does. Tether's got 110%. Tether is the most solvent bank in the world, and it's a cryptocurrency company. And we're in the midst of a bear market, and we're the most solvent bank in the world, right? No top indicators hit, death cross hit. Yeah, the bull market's over, guys. In case you didn't pick it up by the third notion there, this is all sarcastic. The bull market's not over. I like the way James Bull put this. I was the 597th like. Anyways, Bitcoin. Let's get into the TA here. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it, okay? No, we're not in a bear market. No, we are not in the face of danger here. We're looking at death in the face and saying, not today. We're going to go up. I think that we're going to go up from here. I don't think that we're going to go down. We are at a point to bounce. However, with that being said, throughout this whole range, and I think a lot of us out there, not just myself, but a lot of us have become accustomed to, at this point, we've become accustomed to this Bart-like behavior. I have a whole point. Let me just get it out here, okay? We've become very, very accustomed to this Bart-like behavior. I'm just going to put this line back here. And we've kind of got this higher-low trend going on right here. You know, maybe if I connect this down, bleed it down like this, something like this. I think a lot of people right now, myself included, are expecting the price to do this. And we'll look at the charts, we'll look at the indicators and see if that's what the indicators are saying. I don't know if we'll get a good read on the 1 hour because we're just moving sideways. It is the weekend too, it's Saturday. But because I think at this point with all these movements pre-programmed in here, we're just thinking that we're going to get a BART up. We're right at this point where we've kind of got these higher lows coming in. I wouldn't be surprised if we broke down, found support. Instead of BARTing up, we just continued breaking down. And then from there, then we BART up, and then we move up. I wouldn't be surprised if today's Saturday we move down, or maybe even over Sunday. I would be surprised if we broke too far past 90K without seeing any kind of serious upside above or around 100K. I do think that we're on a path to 100K. My expectation stands today just as firm as it did when we were at 94K, just as much as it did here, just as much as it did here. The call has been really for most of this time that this is the next area to go to. This is where we're going to go. Really, I said probably like most of this time. That's all we've been considering. So go down. It's just a higher low until we get up there. Go up. It's just a higher high until we get up there. However it works, we're going to get up there soon enough. And I do imagine that we will be up here by the end of December. I don't imagine that we'll be past this point by the end of December. Maybe if we do just a little bit past it. I'm wondering if we even do get above 100K by the end of the year, because a lot of people are making bets that we will. Wouldn't it be funny if we got right below 100K, but we never actually crossed that threshold? From a high to a low, if it'll load. It's on there. It's just, for some reason, lagging. Let's see. I'm going to write high. Oh, no. It didn't let me write high, but that's okay. Okay, so here's this. The 0.5 fib retracement. Bitcoin has typically found resistance at this 0.5 or support throughout this whole cycle, like since 2023. We've been finding significance at this level, and it happens to line up exactly with this last area of support, which is an area of support back here. Somewhere around $99,000 to $102,000. That's where I think we're going. Let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out from there. 1 hour time frame here, looking at this. It certainly does look Bart-esque, and I think just given the current circumstances, the appropriate call would be to call for the move to go up here, but at this point I think it's too obvious, right? Everybody's talking about Barts left and right on X.com. We're not really surprised by this, right? I mean, was anybody really surprised by this? I didn't think that it would drop this much. We did think that it would drop. I didn't think we'd go below 90K, but whatever. It's okay that we did. I would think, but this I saw coming a mile away. I couldn't have been the only person. The market makers like to shake people up, and that's what these Barts are, is that they're throwing the price in the direction that makes the least sense. To me, the most sense at this nonsensical moment would be to go up. Might it then make sense to go down? I don't know. Just thinking a little bit outside the box there. 1 hour time frame, RSI looks bearish, stochastics look bearish, the MACD looks bearish. In all fairness, typically when all of these have looked bearish, they have been at relative low points throughout really the past week or so. We look at the 4 hour time frame here. The 4 hour RSI does look bearish. You did have a bullish posturing. You did have higher lows and some higher highs kind of going up here. Maybe not higher highs, I guess lower highs here. Higher lows, higher highs. Okay, I guess you have this kind of wedge pattern, and you might be breaking out of it to the downside now. We've kind of broken out of it to the upside and then reverted back down, whatever, but it doesn't mean we can't come up. It doesn't mean that we're even in a pattern like this, but it does look more bearish here than it has, is really what I'm trying to say. I thought here it looked bullish, and you started slipping here, and now you look a little bit more bearish. We might make a stab down to this oversold zone, in which case we do see prices below where we are now. The stochastics coming out of the oversold zone is nice, but we're not really getting a positive reaction there. They still are technically bearish, and the MACD itself, it's kind of at this point where we typically do bounce, at least over the past week we have, but I don't know. We could go lower too. I don't know. Daily time frame, rejecting the same area, kind of like a double top. Stochastics lower high. MACD lower highs, and lower highs in the price, so there's no bearish divergence there. I don't know. We're definitely at a point where there's low volume, so we are going to break out one direction or the other. Wouldn't it be hilarious if before we went up here we actually broke out of this trend line? Because I do expect that we'll break this trend line, but I was thinking first we'd break out to the upside, and then we'd break down to the downside to break that trend line. That's what I was thinking. But maybe it happens in reverse order. Maybe we break out first, we get like a double bottom or a higher low here, and then we move up. We give it that kind of W shape. I don't know. Maybe. Basically, our indicators are useless. They might be bearish at the moment, but every time they've been bearish, it's actually been when you should get bullish. When they get bullish is whenever you should be bearish. Basically, the indicators are useless in all this chop here. I'm kind of suspecting that we go down, but I think logically, statistically speaking, the most likely outcome based on what we've seen recently would be that we come up. I just think it's too obvious. I think it's too obvious that we go up, personally. But maybe we do. Maybe we still do. Maybe at this point, it looks like we're coming down, and now it's obvious that we're coming down, and people are making bets off of that, and then we'll go up. Every single time that we've barred it up, we've first seen a lower low in the price, right? Lower low here in the price. Maybe that's what we need to do. We get a lower low, and then we bar it up. I don't know. Right? Whenever it's most convincing that, oh, we're not barring up. We're actually going to go down. Just kidding. Boom. Now we're coming up. Now we're just doing the kitty cat instead of the Bart. I don't know. Looks like cat ears to me. But anyways, if we are to pull back, if we are to go lower from here, on the bright side we do have Fibonacci retracements, which from a low to a high, and I am going to take the actual high. Because now I'm measuring this all like it's one range. I'm not gonna base it off of like fake outs. I actually am gonna take it on the actual high. Typically, I would measure the fib here, and I would not measure the fake out highs. But because of these weird circumstances, I am going to measure the whole range because it's been very choppy. I don't think this is a fake out. I think this is just standard behavior in this price range. So low to high, if we go lower from here, the expectation is that we'd either find support at 88.9K or somewhere around there, or at the lowest, 85.6 to 84.7K. I say at the lowest, but that'd be kind of like the general expectation is that you find support at the golden ratio and move up. But to be fair, Bitcoin has had a bit of a flirtationship here and there with its 786, so we could go to 83.4 or 82K. I doubt we'd get below this range. I personally am not even expecting that we go down here. And it's completely possible that we don't even hit 89K. It's completely possible that we do move up from here. But if we are going lower, these are your targets. 89K just below, 83.4, 82K at the lowest, and then maybe 85.6 to 84.7 has some promise there. I don't know. You could stop at the 0.5, of course, but there's all your lower targets there. That's that. And of course, that is assuming that we go down, and that would be perfect because if we go down, if we were to like break this trend line, people would really be freaking out at the lows, and that's the whole purpose of all the price action that we've seen is to just make people freak out. People get max bullish here, max bullish here, max bullish here, max, and meanwhile all of these are just lower highs, right? And just slightly higher highs. People get max bearish here, max bearish here, max bearish here. All of these are just higher lows, right? On a macro scale as well, and then on a short-term scale as well. We break out of this, people are going to get max bearish right as soon as we break out, and that's the whole point of everything. But then it's a higher low technically, and then we move up, right? It's a higher low than this low, it's a higher low than this low, and then we move up, and we were bouncing off the golden ratio, right? We create max fear in the area at the 0.5 or the golden ratio, which is the area that's the best to find support for Bitcoin. Like it just doesn't, doesn't sound too far off of what we've been doing already. It's not a BART thing, right? We'd get rid of this BART look, because we'd be moving down and be like a stair-step look, but then we'll probably BART back up out of it. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything. Certainly not bearish here. Certainly not afraid of death here. I think that we are at a low point, and so far, the call that we made back on the 21st of November, that we would be moving sideways for about a month or two, seems to be playing out pretty damn well. Are we not doing the same thing here that we did last time, exactly as forecasted 3 weeks ago? Are we not doing the same thing here that we did down here in our low range, right? Like, are we not doing the same thing? Maybe it's a little less volatile. Are we not doing the same thing here that we were doing here? Exactly as forecasted. Why? Why did we know this was going to happen? And we're still calling for the upside, just like we broke out here to the upside, just like we broke out here to the upside, just like we broke out here to the upside. We know this is going to happen because the RSI is totally reset. We bounced off the oversold zone. We're at our lows because the daily RSI hit this low level here below the 20, which every single time that we've actually hit this level in the RSI this cycle, we have seen a month to 2 months worth of consolidation. We've been consolidating now, my friends. It hasn't even been a month, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Technically, we are above the amount of time, for the shortest amount of time that we've seen for a proper reaction after finding this low here in the RSI. So we could move up at any minute, any moment now. What's crazy about this, I was thinking what we would see was some more volatility. I was thinking we'd move up here, and we'd come down, and we'd see a lower low, and then we'd come. I was thinking that this would be a lot more volatile, but this has been very tight. It is volatile. We're seeing a lot of volatility, a lot of BART-like behavior. We don't need to be super volatile as far as like ranging goes. We don't need to see super large ranges because people are leverage trading like degenerates and getting creamed on just these little moves here. So that's good enough. And that's probably what we're going to continue to do. If we are going to move up, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if first we broke out to the downside before moving up. I mean, that makes sense too. So again, from here, if you're wondering what my perspective is, I am calling for the price to go down. We're at $90,100. Overall, we're anticipating that we're moving up to this level here. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it confused. We are still, regardless of where we go, regardless of how low we go, we are still working our way back up here. I don't believe that we're going to go below this low, but I do believe that we will go lower from here. And I hope I'm wrong. And at this point, I think that the odds are not on my side. The odds are not in my favor. Every time we've done this exact thing, we've gone up. But at this point, I think it's just too obvious. I think it's too obvious. I think even the degens at this point are aware of this, and they're probably, they might be looking at this and thinking, I'm in danger. It's going to go down right now. But every time I've gone short, I've gotten wrecked, so I'm just going to go long here and go against the grain, and this time it'll work out. And nope, they're going to get creamed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Anyways, I've got nothing else for you guys. It's like here, right? Like here, you had it programmed in. Oh, we're just barting. We're going to come up. Nope, we went lower. Oh, we're just barting. We're going to come up. We did come up, but nope, we went lower. we went. Maybe you were green for a second, but you didn't take profits. Boom. You go max long. You add to your position up here, and then boom. Then we get creamed. It's getting a little bit more deceptive, a little bit less clean, but it's still pretty clean. I don't know. I might be setting myself up to be wrong here, but I am calling for something to go down. If I had to guess what price we were going to, if I had to guess, I would say something below 89K, but above 84K, something in that range. And if I'm wrong, we'll just move up instead. And then I hope I'm wrong, because whatever, we're the inevitable path, regardless of if we move down, if we move sideways, if we move up from here, they all take us up inevitably, and we will go to this area to find resistance. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.